Hi, welcome back to the second video for under this module, Introduction to Python for Data Analytics. In this video, we'll talk about how to download Anaconda and also how to install it into your PC. I'm right here in my Google search engine. I'll search for Anaconda. So remember that we said, I did mention in the previous video, so I'm searching for Anaconda download. I mentioned in my previous video that we would be using Anaconda instead of downloading and installing Python interpreter directly to our computer. So because our focus is on data analytics and data science related tasks, we may not necessarily need to download and install Python interpreter, because once you download Anaconda, you have Python installed automatically to your PC. Except you want to use Python for other purposes, for web creation or app development and other tasks, you may need to download and install Python interpreter, which will enable you to write Python scripts and Python codes and save them as scripts so that you can use them for some other purposes. But since you're focused more on data analytics, you may just have to install only Anaconda, which has Jupyter Notebook alongside. So I hit on download Anaconda distribution, and once I do that, you find the Anaconda homepage, which allows us to download. So here it says distribution free download. Register to get everything you need to get started on your workstation, including cloud notebooks, navigator, AI assistant, learning, and more. So all you need to do is just to hit on the register button. You provide email to download distribution. Just provide your email. So I'm going to provide datafide.academy @gmail.com. all right, so haven't provided my email. Do you want to agree to receive communication from Anaconda regarding relevant content, products, and services? Yes, I think I would love to get these communications. Hit on your submit button, and once you do that, it says success. Please check your email for the download link. You have to head over to your email to get the downloadable link, and then from there you can continue your installation process. So I'll go back to my email. Let me stop this having on full screen. Then I can head over to the email, get to my Gmail accounts, and search for the downloadable link for us to continue. So here is it. Click on this link and hit download now. So with this, you can have your Anaconda downloaded to your computer. All right, it brings you back to anaconda.com download success page, and shows you the Anaconda hub, distribution, the cloud suite, and data science and AI workbench, and so on and so forth. All right, so what we want really is to get Anaconda distribution. So let's hit on Anaconda distribution, and then we get to download it. Okay, so I think this is not bringing me back. I'm not supposed to see this because I've already hit on the link to get it downloaded. Let's know exactly. Okay, great. So this is what we're supposed to see, right? So I had to go back. I hit on the back button. It was meant to bring us here and then give us the download button. So if you don't have this, when you click on the link sent to your email, once you click on the link that was sent to your email, is meant to bring you to this page, anaconda.com/download/success, and then hit the download for Windows in case you're using Windows. Or if you're using Mac system, you have to come here and choose from the bits you need or you want, either 64-bit Apple Silicon graphical installer or 64-bit Apple Silicon graphical installer, 707 command line installer, or 64-bit. So choose from any of the lists. If you're using a Linux, you choose from any of these particular lists right here. For Windows, we only have 64-bit graphical installer, which is about 912.3 MB. So I hit on the download button from this option right here, Once I do that, Anaconda gets we start downloading, and it says thank you for downloading. All right, so already I have Anaconda installed here, so I won't have to download it. I'll stop the download process to save my data. Once you have it downloaded, you hit on the install, hit on the executable file that you've downloaded to get it installed, and follow the necessary prompts. Very easy to install. Okay, so once you install the Anaconda successfully, the next prompt you get is you can go ahead and open the Anaconda window. So I will head over to Anaconda. Since I have it installed on my computer already, I'll head over to my search bar and type Anaconda so I can get it open and show you how it looks like. So once I hit on type Anaconda, it's getting me up, it's bringing up the Anaconda prompt shell. So I do not want to open Anaconda prompt shell. I want to open the Anaconda itself. All right, so that's it. Anaconda, you find this Anaconda navigator. I don't want to open the Anaconda prompt, so it's Anaconda navigator I want to open. When you hit on Anaconda navigator, the navigator is get to open and then show you all the other apps or programming language or packages that are embedded in Anaconda. Just give it some time to pop up. Oh great, so here's Anaconda navigator opened on my PC. Sometimes you might get this update application pop up. It says there's a new version of Anaconda navigator available. We strongly recommend you to update. If you click yes, Anaconda navigator will close and then the Anaconda navigator updater will start. Do you wish to update to Anaconda navigator 2.6.1 now? Yeah, well, I do not want to do that because it might take some time and delay me from completing this video. So I'll hit on no remind me later so I can continue with whatever demonstration I'm showing you right here. Here's Anaconda data, and this is just a pop-up showing you different things you can do with Anaconda. We have notebooks, you can start coding immediately with free Anaconda cloud notebook. We also have the publish, you can deploy Anaconda notebooks effortlessly and make them readily accessible to others, and so on and so forth. So let's just this is a different sources, data sources you can connect to Anaconda. Let me tap this window to close it so I can show you around Anaconda navigator. Anaconda navigator has the menu bar just as every other applications in Windows, the file and the help. Just two menu, file and help. I do not intend to click on the help menu. That was a mistake. Come back to Anaconda navigator. It also has this pane that has the different additional menus: the home, environments, learning, community, and then it has this navigator itself that displays the different applications and packages that can be installed and run with Anaconda. It has data spell, Anaconda toolbox. Then when you scroll down, you find Anaconda cloud notebooks, command.exe prompt. Then you can find here Jupyter Lab. This is an extensive environment for interactive and reproducible computing based on Jupyter Notebook and architecture. Then Jupyter Notebook, this is what you'll be using throughout this course. It's a web-based interactive computing notebook environment. Edit and run human readable docs while describing data analysis. You can see it's specifically written there. You can also launch PowerShell prompts, Qt console. You have Spider, is what I did mention earlier in the previous video. Spider is also here. There is Anaconda on AWS Graviton. This is also data law. And we have IBM Watson X, so on and so forth. So there are lots of interesting. Orange is also part of the packages you can work with in Anaconda. So you find RStudio. Here is PyCharm or PyCharm for professionals. RStudio, this is for R programming language, a set of integrated tools designed to help you become more productive with R, including R essentials and notebooks. This can be installed. So these are some of the packages that comes with Anaconda, but our interest is to launch Jupyter Notebook. So it can either launch Jupyter Notebook from Anaconda Navigator, but this is not the most effective way to launch Jupyter Notebook because this can be a longer route of launching it. So what I advise you to do is you don't even have to open Anaconda Navigator after installing it. I just brought it here to show you around. There are other features under environment, learning, and so on, which are not part of my interest, or these are not part of the things I want to show you. You can go ahead and explore yourself and do your research, personal research, and you may not have a reason to open this throughout your course as you're using Jupyter Notebook. All right, so I close Anaconda Navigator, and all I need to do, yes, I want to close this. What I need is actually Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook opens on a browser, so whatever browser you want it to open up on, you have to open the browser first and then type Jupyter Notebook to pop it up. But if no browser is opened, once you type Jupyter, search for Jupyter Notebook and open it, it will open on the default browser set by your computer. So I'll type, since this browser is opened and I want it to open up in one of the windows or tabs, I'll type Jupyter Notebook. Once I type Jupyter JU, it pops up my it pops up the what is it called now, the Jupyter Notebook for me. Let me see, I think it went up again, Jupyter. Okay, so here it is, Jupyter Notebook. Hit on Jupyter Notebook. So when I click on Jupyter Notebook, to first give you this Jupyter Notebook command prompt, trying to get Jupyter Notebook up, and to load some of this, just run some of these codes, and finally Jupyter Notebook will pop up. So here is Jupyter, and from Jupyter you can get Jupyter Notebook opened. It shows you all your root locations in your computer. It says select items to perform actions on them. These are the files that are stored on your computer. So I have all of these: Anaconda 3, contacts, desktop, documents, downloads, and so on and so forth. Now you have to learn how to document things. From here, the first time you open Jupyter Notebook, you should begin documenting your work properly. Okay, we have another section called running, and then clusters. So right now we have currently running Jupyter processes. Terminals, there are no terminals running. Notebooks, there are no notebooks running. And under clusters, we have clusters tab is now provided by Python Parallel. See Python Parallel for installation details. All right, let's get back to files. Under files, you can locate documents. In case you've created folders for this course, find them under document. Just come over here and click on document. Before we go further, when you come to the right hand side of your Jupyter, you find quit, logout, upload, new, refresh, name, last modified, file size. This additional information and things that you're going to be using on here. If you intend to upload a file, you hit the upload button. If you intend to create new file or new text file or new folder or new terminal, you do that from the new button here. We'll talk more about the new button shortly. So let's go ahead with our documentation and organization. Say you've created a folder, or you want to create a folder for this particular course in documents. I'll recommend everybody do this. Hit on documents and then locate a folder. So I have a folder called datafied files where I save my datafied stuff, and under this folder I want to create a folder for this particular course, Python for data analytics. So all I need to do is to come over here, hit on new document. So remember, I'm inside documents and datafied files. So I'll click on new and select folder. So once I do that, it creates new folder untitled for me right here, and the next step is to rename this folder. I'll hit on this button to select it, then come over to the top right corner or left corner of my screen and select rename. So once I select rename, I can then give it a name. I'll call it Python for data analytics. Python for data analytics, right? Okay, so once you give it a title, the next is to hit on rename button, and that folder is renamed Python for data analytics. Can you see that? All right, now my Python file I want to create, or my Jupyter notebook I want to create, I would like that notebook to be in this folder. So all I need to do next is to hit on the folder that I just created to get it opened. So you can see it says the notebook list is empty, so there is nothing here in this folder because I just created it. All right, and once you head over to your file, in computer, let's go to documents and identified files. You find the folder here. Here is it, the folder I just created, Python for data analytics. When you open it, it is actually empty. All right, let's close this and get back to Jupyter. Now from this part, if you want to launch a notebook, new notebook, and then get started, you come over to the new icon right here, hit on this new button and tap Python 3, that is IPy kernel. So you can see that Python 3 is already automatically installed together with Jupyter or Anaconda once you download it. So you don't need to install Python separately and install Anaconda separately. I would advise for you not to install Python except you have something else to do with it, that is Python interpreter. But all you need is just to install Anaconda, and that's sufficient for you for now. All right, so I'll hit on the Python 3 IPy kernel, and that will launch a Jupyter notebook which will be running on Python 3. So here is how Jupyter notebook looks like. Okay, I take this to full screen so everything will show out clearly and boldly. All right, so from Jupyter notebook, you have of course the title page that carries the name of the application, Jupyter, and it says untitled because you're yet to save this file. Tells you last checkpoint a few seconds ago, and it is unsaved changes, and it shows you the Python logo, which means that this Jupyter notebook is running on Python interpreter. And you can also log out from this part. We have the menu bar of Jupyter notebook that contains the file, edit, view, insert, cell, kernel, wild gets, and help. So when you click on file, under file you have different options to open new notebook, to create new notebook, or to open, to make a copy, to save as, to rename, to save as, checkpoint, revert to checkpoints, print preview, download as, different options, right? Trusted notebooks, and close and halt. You also have the edits feature or the edit menu that has different edits options to cut cells, copy cells, paste cells above, paste cells below, paste cells and replace, and so on and so forth. Features that have to do with editing a file. Then you have the view menu, which has the toggle header, toggle toolbar, toggle line, and so on and so forth. So we would see how to use some of these different commands under each of these menus as we continue using Jupyter notebook. All right, one other interesting or important part of Jupyter notebook is this standard the toolbar icons. The toolbar. So a toolbar has a save icon, which all of these icons found here, they are in one of these different menus. You have the save icon. The plus sign means it allows you to add new cells. So when there's this active selected cell. Okay, let me just quickly explain this before I come back to the cells. So we have the cuts, you have the copy and paste, the copy, paste, move cell above, move cell below, run cell, stop, refresh, and restart kernel. You also have this other interesting and important aspect of your toolbar that shows you how different options that you can use to activate your cell. So right now the cell is in code mode. If I select Markdown, the cell has been changed to Markdown node. Do you see a difference? For code mode, it has the in with this square open and close brackets and this play button. All right, for the Markdown, it has nothing, just show you the cell, empty cell. Then raw NB converter also looks like the Markdown, nothing is displaying. Then heading shows you this particular pop-up. It says use Markdown headings. Then it goes further to tell you that Jupyter no longer uses special heading cells. Instead, write your headings in Markdown cells using hashtag characters. So before now, Jupyter, once you select heading, Jupyter notebook will give you a special heading cell where you can put up a bold heading, but that is no longer active or no longer available. All you need to do is use hashtag. A single hashtag will give you heading 1, two hashtags will give you heading 2, 3 hashtags will give you heading 3, and so on and so forth. So by heading 1, 2, 3, and so on means that it shows you how bold or how clear and big your text will appear. All right, let's begin with don't worry, you learn more about Markdown. Markdown is actually used to type text, so that is what makes Jupyter notebook very interesting and very fascinating, because you can type in codes and text at the same time in one particular source or one place. But now let's go ahead and just select code, because I want us to work with the code. Okay, now an active cell will have this blue line, and you can see a selected kind of line around the cell. If you want to type in anything in Jupyter Notebook, just place your cursor and click inside. It activates your I-beam. Place your I-beam inside the cell. It activates the cell by shows you that it's ready to type by blinking cursor. I can go ahead and just type in the numbers or use Jupyter Notebook as calculator. 2 times 5, enter. It gives me the value 10. So once you run the cell, okay, how do we run the cells? Let me put in another operation. 6 divided by 4. To run cells is either you hit on this play button or you hit on this run, or you press the shortcut. The one I use in running the first cell is shift enter. Shift enter will run the cell and again create a new cell underneath. You can also use control enter to run the cell, but when you use control enter to run the cell, that will run the cell without creating a new cell underneath. Can you see? I ran this cell with control enter. That means I held on my control key on my keyboard and pressed enter key. It only ran the cell, but it doesn't give me a new additional cell underneath. So if I want an additional cell, all I need to do, I'll come and hit on this plus sign to create a new cell below. Okay, but if I should say 6 plus 8 for instance, and then I pressed shift enter, or let me run with this cell. When you click on run, it's also going to run the cell and create a new cell underneath, and shift enter will also do the same thing. I hope I'm communicating. But when you click on control enter, it only runs the cell. It doesn't create a new cell underneath. So if you are working on Jupyter Notebook, I believe that using shift enter will be very, very useful way of running your cell, especially if you intend to create new cells under. But if you just want to run the cell without creating a new cell under, just press your control enter. I hope that's clear. So right now you see me using Jupyter Notebook as calculator. I'm multiplied 2 numbers, divide one number by another. I added 2 numbers, and so on and so forth. These are some of the things you can do with Jupyter Notebook. And if I want to take square root of a number, I can simply say give me the square root of 16. So all I need to do is just to say 16 raised to the power 0.5, right? So that gives me the square root of 16, enter, and that is 4.0. So this is the square root of 16. Raised to power in Python is double asterisk, 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 and not hat or carat like Excel. Okay, so this is not raised to power in Jupyter Notebook, or Python rather. So this is actually Python syntax, even though I'm writing this code in Jupyter Notebook, but this is Python syntax. You learn more about Python syntax as we move on with the class. So as you can see, I tried using hat or carat for my power, but it's giving me it's a type error. So this is a type error. It says that this line in line 5 in 5 line 1, this says type error, unsupported operand types for this int or float. So that means this particular type of operation I'm trying to perform cannot be used for integers and float data types. That is what it says. And the same operand or operation is what is being used in Python, in Excel, and other platforms for raising a number to a power of something. But in Python, we use double asterisk to raise powers. Alright, so that's it about Jupyter Notebook. This is just me trying to introduce Jupyter Notebook and getting you started. As we move on with the other videos, you learn how to perform other more operations. You learn Python syntax, and then you get used to Jupyter Notebook. Alright, so before I end this video is supposed to be short, but it's actually getting so long. I think it's very important for me to mention one other tool we'll be using in this course. Alright, so that is going to be Google Colab, right? I'm trying to take this out of the full mode. Yes, Google Colab is a very interesting and fascinating platform that Google had created, which enables individuals, data scientists, and analysts to work on the cloud using Jupyter. All right, let's go ahead and open Google Colab. Search for Google Colab. Just search for Colab. Suffice to search for Colab. You'll find Google Colab, right? Once you click on Colab, it brings you, it's asking me, do I mean Colab? Or what did I type? Oh, I used single L actually. So Google Colab, hit on Google Colab, it opens up Google Collaboratory. It says Colab is a hosted Jupyter Notebook service that requires no setup to use and provides free access to computing resources, including GPUs and TPUs. Colab is especially well suited to machine learning, data science, and education. Like I did mention earlier, it's a notebook, Jupyter notebook, that is hosted in the cloud, and it's fantastic to use because you don't need to perform any form of installation like we did for Anaconda. In case you're worried about your space in your computer and you're worried about getting things installed again, or maybe you're working with a PC that is not your personal PC but your official computer, which may not allow you to install Anaconda, you have no reasons to worry because Google Colab is there to help you out. Here is Google Colab. You can click on open Colab or new notebook. I intend to create open new notebook. Click new notebook and it brings you to new Jupyter notebook that's hosted in Google Cloud. So with this, I do not need to do any installation. So if I hadn't installed Anaconda, this Colab will still work perfectly. Going forward in this class, we'll be using a lot of Colabs instead of Jupyter notebook. So I just introduced Jupyter notebook to you for you to know. So but I'm using Colab a lot almost throughout the course to run our codes. Again, you can see how it looks like Jupyter notebook. It has different cells. You can also perform the calculations here. 5 plus 9, shift enter. For the first time you're running Colab, it won't output your result as quick as it did for Jupyter notebook because it's trying to connect to the cloud, and once it's out, it doesn't need to take so much time again to perform other operations as you move on. So when I say 6 minus 8 and I press enter, you can see now this is a little bit faster than the first time. So it depends on the strength of your internet. Now the only thing here is that you have to be connected to the internet to use Google Colab, right? Because everything is running on the cloud, so you have to be connected to the computer, to the internet to use Google Colab. Google Colab, I mean to say. All right, so that is all for now. We would be looking at some more interesting aspects of Python for data analytics in the next and subsequent videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions or comments, leave your comments or questions in the comment section, and please like, share, and repost these videos. Yes, that will be all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Goodbye.